Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time. The Box 2 is officially launched and you have an opportunity to get your hands on it. If you have not already known, The Box is a glimpse into Virgin Islands history by our very own Dr. Allision Flax-Archer. Of course, this is a very fun and exciting way for families, visitors, and friends to learn about the Virgin Islands that we so cherish. We're going to talk about The Box and, of course, get some insight into what those questions are all about. So we'll be right back after a quick commercial break. One Stop Auto, located in the R&R Malone Complex, Parkwood Pond, is having a huge liquidation sale on all inventory, excluding vehicles and genuine Toyota and Lexus parts. Get no less than 50% off all items on shelves and inventory room. Items such as car covers, steering wheel covers, wipers, sealants, chemicals, emergency cones, adhesives, license plates frames, air filters, oil filters, front brakes, rear brakes, front rotors, rear rotors, radiators, shocks, and much more. A specific listing of all makes and models for which parts are available at liquidation prices will be posted on our Facebook page. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production. Welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for your time. As promised, today we're talking all things The Box 2. Of course, Box 1 has already been out and you can get your hands on it. Dr. Allision Flax-Archer, welcome back and happiest New Year to you.
Thank you, Ron, and Happy New Year to you also.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So we have officially launched The Box 2. Yes. Before we get into that, I want to talk about that lovely evening and recap that for us, some of the moments that were cherished at the official launch.
The moments that were cherished at that launch were probably the ones where persons spoke so kindly of me and kindly of the BVI. Miss Eileen Parsons was there, and that was really, really a special moment. And the lovely words that she had toward me, and of course, you know that she is a lover of these Virgin
Indeed.
Islands. So I believe, and the persons that were there to support, I believe that was extremely cherished as well.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. So now the official Box 2 has been launched. Of course, we're familiar with Box 1, and we have Box 2. For persons who may not be aware, tell us about the concept and how you came about.
Okay, so the concept was actually birthed quite some time ago, but during COVID, I really started, during the lockdown, I really started narrowing in on what I really wanted to do as it relates to getting the information out there to persons. A lot of our young people, they know information, but a lot of the Virgin Islands history information is what is concerning. They might hear things from different cultures, but our culture is what is extremely important. And I believe that persons really should know where we've come from so that we can move forward. I tried to do the box in a fun way so that persons could relearn the history, those that know, of course, or just recap and just rethink and have conversations about the cards. But I didn't want it to be too overwhelming, as in a book where they would read and then maybe extract some of the information that was super important to them, but rather in the form of a game. And I noticed that at Christmas time, I know a number of families did play the box because I did get some calls, but it was very interesting to see my husband's family play. Really, really interesting. And that is exactly what I wanted to see, because there was a lot of dialogue. There was a lot of, well, I didn't know that, no, that's not the way that we did it. And that's what we want to experience. That's what we want to take away from the box, a conversation.
Beautiful.
Of, you know, it wasn't really that way, or it was that way, because we have different villages that might say different things. So I did also tap into a lot of the older persons that were able to tell me or give me some of the information in each of the box.
I'm happy that you mentioned tapping into some of the older persons. What was the research process for you like in putting the information together?
Putting the information together was really easy. It probably was selfish,
Okay.
because a lot of times I would either, if I hear something, I would put it in my phone, first of all, or I would write it down, and then I would go and do my own research, whether it's through the archives or asking older persons if it's not something that's factual within the archives.
Understood.
How did you do it long ago? What was it like? Wouldn't just ask one person, but I would ask several.
Got you. Well, I'm ready to have some fun. So
Great.
I'm at your mercy. Go ahead.
Okay,
We
great.
can take some from the first
Okay.
box and then as well as the second box.
I'll just ask 2 cards from the first
Okay.
box, if that's okay.
All right.
So the Virgin Islands are constitutionally known as the Virgin Islands, but most often referred to as the British Virgin Islands. Why is British used by so many? That's actually on the back of the box, but why is it used?
In my opinion, British is
Okay.
used because the U.S. Virgin Islands stole it. But that's my answer.
You said that you said British is used because the
US Virgin Islands stole our name.
the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Well, I can completely agree with that, but I'll probably get some calls from my family members that live in St. Thomas. But you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
Let's say that that's correct.
Okay.
But the answer that I have on the card is to distinguish the Virgin Islands from the United States Virgin Islands. And then that goes back to the Constitution
Yes.
of 2007. That initiates a completely different conversation, because we're going through a constitutional review right now. So that is going to change because of the review. And then you'll have questions that come up from younger people. What is a constitution? Why do we need a constitution? And persons that are not necessarily as interested as Indigenous or persons that reside in the Virgin Islands about the constitution and the changes that'll be made will start to have a conversation as well, start to be a part of these beautiful islands that we live in. And I just wanted to say that, on the Did You Know fact, because each card has a Did You Know
Beautiful.
fact, the 2007 constitutional order replaces the one of 1976. So whenever this new one is done, it will replace the 2007.
Wonderful. Up next.
So that's from box 1. I'll ask one more question from box 1. What is the official currency of the Virgin Islands? And that's like for a tourist that comes in and wonders why.
U.S. currency.
Exactly. And then they would wonder,
Why?
why? So the BVI, and this is under the Did You Know fact, the BVI is highly dependent on tourism. Many tourists visit from the United States, and as a result, and because of close relationship with the U.S. Virgin Islands, in 1959, the Virgin Islands switched from using British currency, which is the sterling, to the U.S. dollar as its currency. So for convenience, basically.
Absolutely.
And there may be conversations about moving back to the sterling or the pound or whatever. So
Understood.
we'll see. So that is
Box
one.
Which is available, of course.
It's available through me. I'm around. Is it okay that I give my number
Absolutely,
also?
yes.
It's a 284-542-4348. So through me, WhatsApp or telephone
You
call.
can get your copy.
Yes, or Nutmeg in town, and the Nook bookstore.
Wonderful.
Both of them are available at those 2 locations.
All right.
3 locations, because I'm a location.
On to book 2.
Yes. Okay. So
box 2.
Yeah. So these questions. Okay. So box 2 is quite fun.
Okay.
I think that the younger persons throughout the community will be able to answer a lot more questions from this box, but it still is inclusive of a lot of harder ones and facts that they really need to know within our history.
Hit me.
All right. So maybe I won't ask you that one yet. Okay, I'm going to ask this one because it's a fun one. Name 3 places in the Virgin Islands that are named after animals. 3 places.
I could do this. Fat Hogs Bay.
Yep.
There is Mosquito Island.
Yes.
And then Seacoast Bay.
That's right. That's right. That's perfect.
Good.
And then there are so many more. All of them are not going to be on the card. And that's the thing. Some persons will say, well, you didn't include this or you didn't include that. But that's the whole point. You're supposed to.
So, for example, let's have a discussion.
Yeah.
One of those that came to mind was Guana Island, but it's the iguana is the animal, not guana.
Exactly.
So would that fall under that or no?
So that's going to be a topic of conversation. The judge might say, okay, we'll give it to you. But Guana Island, it's not, as you said, it is. Iguana is not an iguana, but there are the iguanas, the rock iguana from Anegada are actually found on Guana Island as well. But that one is not on the card because the name itself will be controversial.
Understood.
Iguana is not an iguana, but it can be. The judge would
judge
decide.
might say yes.
Right.
All right.
And then we have the dogs, which of course there are 4,
yes.
and there are so many more places that are not included on the cards that are named after animals.
Beautiful.
So great.
And I'll get one more.
Okay, so there's a did you know fact, but I won't read that. Okay, so the one that the younger folks will absolutely love is what is the meaning of the name of the music band called Vibe?
Vibe, Virgin Islands based entertainment.
That's it, you got it. So yes, I've asked a number of older persons that question, and they're thinking, Virgin Islands, but what does the B in the East? And they come up with all kinds of neat things, but it is the answer that you gave, Virgin Islands-based entertainment, and of course we know that the founder of that group is local, and there's a whole did you know about him as well, and there can be a conversation because there were March champions for X amount of years.
Course. Well, one of the things that I love, and I'm happy that you included our local music and entertainment in the box. So for persons who may not be aware, they get to learn about our one and only Vibe. All right.
Exactly.
So I want to talk about cost. I know persons can get it from, you said the Nook, as well as Nutmeg, and of course yourself. But what is the cost of the box?
The box is $29.99, and there are 150 cards in each box. The cards are different. However, I will say that there are about 10 cards, duplicate cards, in box 2 from 1. Some of the really critical ones, like the currency, the same Constitution one, that I feel that persons really, it needs to be cemented that it's important.
Understood. Well, once again, congratulations on the box 1 and 2. And I know, if I know you well enough, I know you have a lot more in store. So we're anticipating and we're looking forward to the continuation of the box. But a glimpse into Virgin Islands history, it is simply that, a fun and exciting way for us to learn about our rich history and heritage and our culture. So thank you so much.
And thank you. Thank you very much, Ron, for having me. You always have me. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Viewers, that is all the time we have. If you have not already got it, I encourage you to please go and get the box. It's a fun way, as you can see, into learning a glimpse into Virgin Islands history. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.